Hi everybody, this is Kevin and welcome back to another manga review. And today we are going to be taking a look at Fairy Tail Volume 60 from Hiro Mashima, which is the continuation of the final arc. And holy crap, dude, Volume 60, I can't believe we made it this far. There's only 4 volumes left as we watch the final battles and the conclusion of the story and just all sorts of good stuff. So, the last volume was the most emotional one yet, which saw Natsu and Gray fight each other because they both assumed the worst for essentially their two lovers. They both thought Juvia and Lucy had died because I think it was at the end of volume 58, Invel used his magic to create the ice chain around Juvia and Gray's neck and force them to fight each other, to which they both killed themselves, with Juvia using her water make magic to use her, get her blood into Gray so Gray can live on. And Gray thought Juvia had died, so, he was completely enraged when Gray left the screen. Wendy came in and healed Juvia, so she's all good. And then we saw Natsu and Lucy fight against Brandish, and Brandish used her magic to make Natsu's tumor enlarge again, so he was out of commission. And Demaria beat the shit out of Lucy and had her all tied up, and we saw her lying on the ground with blood coming out of her eyes, and Natsu thought that Demaria had killed her when it was just sort of a figment of his imagination, and he went berserk and became END, activated his demon powers, and was just fighting Gray until Urza stepped in and stopped the two of them. And she was heartbroken too, because while she was on the battlefield, Makarov also used fairy law, sacrificing his life. And just, oh my goodness, man, lots of crazy stuff going on. And even more so in this volume, where we see on the cover, we have Irene right in the middle, who's taking on Urza and Wendy, and then Sting and Larcade. And that's how the volume ended last time, where Urza was going to fight Irene. I mean, look at the two of them with their hair, right? And then Wendy came in and said, I'll help you, Urza. So she's going to heal her. And then we got Sting versus Larcade there. So it starts right here where everyone's unconscious. Natsu and Gray were just going crazy. And also Juvia, who got healed by Wendy. And also Demaria here. Poor Luska's aiding them all, nursing him back to health. And then she's muttering to herself, he's a demon, a demon. And no one knows the truth about Natsu being END, except for Gray, who's unconscious right now. And Happy knows. But Lucy's not having it. She says, Natsu's not a demon. What do you really know about him? I know more than you. And they start bickering about that. When all of a sudden, Natsu starts almost like he's on fire with all these fumes. And they're looking at him like, there's smoke coming from his body. And Lucy touches him and says he's cold. Wake up, please, Natsu, you have to wake up. How can it be cold if he has these smoke fumes, coming from his body? And then it cuts over here to Natsu in his subconscious where he sees Zareth. And Natsu's like, I'll take you on right here, Zareth. And Zareth says, oh, you fool, this is a figment of your imagination. I'm going to tell you the whole truth about you and END and all our connections. So it takes him back many, many years ago to their parents. And you see how, if this was in color and you'd see it in the anime, his father has pink hair and his mother has black hair. And, Natsu has pink hair and Zareth has black hair. And I love how his father sort of has the spiky hair like Natsu does. So they had a peaceful life way back when all of a sudden the dragons ravaged the land and destroyed the entire village. And so Zareth recreated him as the final demon, END, Aetherius Natsu Dragneel, and then entrusted him in the care of Igneel, a gentle dragon, who also raised Gajiel, Wendy, Sting, and Rogue when they were all younger. And then as Zareth says that, he disappears, but Sting appears now. And then it also cuts to Sting entering the battlefield, where they were going up against Larcade. It was Kagura, Yukino, and Sorano, and then the Exceeds, Lecter, and Frosh. And Larcade's magic uses white holy magic, but his secret weapon is having them all experience pleasure, like they're having sex, and they're lying there defenseless. And that was a pretty funny scene last time. So Sting's here. Sorry for the wait. But, Larcade is pretty powerful. Although he releases his holy magic, and Sting, being a white dragon slayer, similar to Natsu, whenever an enemy uses fire against Natsu, he gobbles it up, and Sting does the same thing here. So that's pretty funny. I'm all fired up. So he uses, this is a printing error. I don't know if you guys can see that. But oh well. It is what it is. And he's casting more of his spells. And what happens is Sting keeps eating them, which is kind of funny. So the next thing he does is, well, first of all, yeah, he uses this weird magic again to make everyone hungry. And Sting imagines Lecter as like a drumstick. He starts eating it. And the same thing of Yukino. She starts biting Kagura. What the hell? And then we get like this uncanny image here of Sting's teeth. It's like, what the fuck is going on here, man? So, you know, Sting snaps out of it and is trying to fight Arcade when he gets to the cross that's on his back and stabs him right through the chest. Damn. And then Rogue appears and says, you know, I'm all out of power, so I'll just give what I have left to you, Sting. And similar to when Loxus gave Natsu the thunder magic, you know, Rogue gives him the shadow magic and he becomes a white shadow dragon. And it's a pretty cool design here, where half his body is white and the other half is black. And he says, I'm all fired up now. He has Natsu's line. I love how the Dragon Slayers all end up using Natsu's line when they have to fight an opponent. They're all inspired by him. So through all that, Sting is fighting on. And in this last page here, he has all these tricks up his sleeve. So this time he says, you'll all go to sleep and never wake up again. Rest in peace. He's like the Undertaker now. But Sting starts like punching himself in his wound, like, damn it, I have to stay awake, I have to stay awake. And you see everyone else around him is falling asleep. When Kagura steps up and uses her gravity magic to snap him back to reality here, and he unleashes his ultimate attack here, Hakui Ryu no Ashiginu, which stands for the White Shadow Dragon's Silk Thread, ties him up real good and stops him. So as he's lying there, he says, Father. You know, his name is Arcade Dragneel and Zareth Dragneel. So, yeah, it's his son, essentially. So Natsu continues walking along and comes in contact with Rogue now. And they start talking about Anna, this woman from their past who was actually the one who knit Natsu's scarf. He was told that he was given the scarf by Igneel, but it was really this woman named Anna who looks very familiar, don't you think? And then it cuts over here to poor Yusuka, which I don't know how the hell this makes any sense, but listen, she says, no, his body temperature keeps dropping. Lucy, strip off your clothes. And look at Lucy's face, no way. It's our last hope. The only thing we can do is use our body heat to warm the boy. It's just a scene to get Lucy naked. I mean, come on now. So this is when Happy actually reveals that if Zareth dies, Natsu will die. And no one knew this. The only person who knew this was Happy. And he says that. And then Lucy says, what do you mean, Happy? Please, God, save Natsu. Please, I hate this. I hate it all. And then Gray wakes up, hearing Happy's cry for pain. So then Minerva and Yukino are making their way to the battlefield. Everyone's all rejoicing. And then they have a moment here with Minerva and Kagura, you know, becoming friendly, because during the Grand Magic Games, of course, Minerva was a villain. And you can see what she did to Kagura there, stabbed her and also humiliated Miliana. So they agreed to be friends. However, it shows Sorno, who appears to still be under the magic spell from Arcade. Look at her. Oh no, no touching, tee. Look at that pose, man. So then it says, Urza, stay alive! And it cuts back to Urza fighting Irene with Wendy aiding her with support magic. And we get some great panels here of the action going on where Urza's going all out and Irene is just defending, not really breaking a sweat whatsoever. So she uses her Heaven's Wheel armor to summon the 100 swords and try and trap her. And you see Irene starts clapping, and look at her nails and her hands, really. Like, what's the deal with that? Well, it'll make sense. I don't want to spoil too early, but I know. And Wendy acknowledges how they look similar, and they have similar smells as well. When Irene says, I am your mother! As if we didn't see that coming. I mean, look at the two of them. And they called her the Scarlet Scourge early on. And Urza makes a face and says, you may be my mother by blood, but the only person I will ever call a parent is my lifelong master, referring to Makarov, of course. So Urza's coming at her and says, I don't care if you're my mother. You can say whatever you want. You're an enemy of the guild. How dare you attack me and my family? And she says, my name is Irene Belsarion, and I was once the Queen of Dragons. And we get some great backstory from 400 years ago of Irene and this dragon named Belsarion. And there's a young Irene who looks just like Urza, very beautiful. And how long ago, the humans and the dragons coexisted and were very friendly. But Belsarion says that, there's a growing number of dragons who are against the humans and are taking over the world and killing all the humans. And so Irene uses the enchantment magic and try to, enhance her powers to help the dragons. But you see a wounded Belsarion coming here saying, we'll be defeated. I'm sorry, I've done the best I can, but these evil dragons are just growing in numbers. So what happens is Irene decides that she's going to become the first dragon slayer, the mother of all the dragon slayers, and to enchant Belsarion's power in her. And as she says that, it's interesting that it cuts to all the dragon slayers: Wendy, Gagio, Rogue, Sting, Loxus, Eric, and then Natsu, with this cute scene with Lucy on top of it, and even Happy. Aww. Look at that, man. Imagine waking up with that on top of you. But anyway, it cuts back to Natsu's subconscious where, you got Wendy and Gagio now telling him, like, come on, Natsu, you're almost there. So as all this happened, the people who turned into dragon slayers slowly but surely turned into dragons themselves. And as they got the dragon slayer power, they had a dragon seed in their body. And you see with Irene here, she's slowly but surely turning into a dragon. You see the scales on her face? And then she meets this man right here, which I don't even remember his name. Is it written here? Either way, that becomes her husband. However, Irene is turning into a dragon. You see all the scales. So they start beating the shit out of her because, the humans are against all the dragons because they've seen all the carnage they've caused. However, this was Irene's husband, and she is pregnant at this point. And as she's lying here turning into a dragon, you see the belly, and she's saying, I will protect you with everything I have. And as this guy is going in there to execute her, she turns into a full-blown dragon and essentially kills him. And look at her. I love the Mashima's designs of the dragons. So she flees and eventually comes in contact with Zereth, who turns her back into a normal human. However, she still has the characteristics of a dragon, and therefore, she tastes nothing, she feels nothing, she can't sleep, she's in all this pain. And all these years have passed, and she still had Urza in her belly. 400 years have passed. And then she comes to the conclusion, what if I enchant my essence in this new child? Then I could have a new body that isn't cursed with this dragon nonsense. And Irene says she failed with that. And says she threw out the garbage, referring to Urza. Because early in the story, we thought Urza was an orphan. We never knew who her parents were. And she just cast her aside. Look at the evil look in her eyes. And then Wendy, how dare you say that to your own daughter? And look at this transformation here. If you hadn't abandoned me, I would never have found my true family. And she's ready to fight. Got 2 swords now, ready to throw down. So just look at the evil look in Irene's eyes as she continues to fight her own daughter, trying to kill her. And now Irene starts talking to the young dragon slayer, Wendy, and saying that, you'll all become dragons eventually. But Wendy says, well, we know this, and we actually did learn about this during the Tartarus arc when the dragons who raised them, their essence was inside them, and they all came loose, and that suppressed their dragon power, so they'll always stay human. So Igneel finally appears within Natsu's subconscious and says, you must make a choice. Inside of you, because he is END, he is a demon created by Zeref, he not only has a dragon seed in him, but a demon seed. And he must choose whether he wants to become a dragon or become a demon. And if he doesn't choose, you will die. Natsu's thinking there. And the two of them here continue battling. And I love this with Wendy boosting, Urza's abilities. Deus Equus, Deus Zero. Actually, sorry, Irene says Deus Zero to nullify it, but trying to help Urza in her fight. Just some great stuff. And what happens here is, like, you see how Irene's all battered and bruised. And what happens is she does it on purpose. It's almost like Captain Ginyu from Dragon Ball Z injures herself and changes her essence in her body from Irene to Wendy. Look at that. And then we get this shot here of Irene's outfit on Wendy, or Wendy Belsarion. The new Irene is reborn. So she's acknowledging the untapped potential of Wendy's body and how she doesn't have to worry about being cursed with the dragon anymore. And, starts beating the shit out of Urza here in Wendy's body. I am Wendy now, Wendy Belsarion. And then as all this is going on, Urza thinks back to earlier in the arc when, Urza said, I'll always protect you. But this time, Wendy said, I'll protect you this time, Urza-san. Thinking back to it. And is beating the shit out of Urza. And Urza can't lay a finger on Wendy because, on Irene because she sees Wendy's body. When Irene's body comes out, and it's Wendy, and the first thing she acknowledges is, oh, the chest, it's so heavy. God damn, because they constantly pick on Wendy being a lolly, which, I think she only is like 12 or 13, so naturally that's the case. But anyway, what happens is Wendy's ability is able to transfer the bodies again, and that's exactly what they do. And that's that. So there you go. So now we get this epic panel right here. I will finish this off, you little brats. How dare you? And now Irene has this battered and bruised body. Urza's is too, and same with Wendy. But they're going to finish their battle here. So again, some great panels of the fight going on and everything. And how Urza mentions, the fact that I had a rough childhood doesn't change anything because I eventually found my true family with Fairy Tail. And then what happens is Irene transforms into a dragon. Look at this transformation of the scales and everything, the wings. There she is. And Urza's like, shit, how the hell can I beat that beast? Starts stomping on her, stepping on her all over the place. And Urza right here, oh, she broke my bones with one attack and she can't even get up. Oh no! Deusema! And she's sending this giant meteor into Earth to kill Urza. But Urza wills herself up with one arm. Look at this, man. She's willing herself up. I have to do this. I have to keep fighting for the guild. And she gets up there and is able to, to destroy it. Which, she does it with the power of friendship. Come on, guys. How can you not love this? She does it with the power of friendship. And stops the meteor. And that's where it ends, to be continued. And then we get some bonus pages. I love this, too, of the Sabretooth girls with Sordo, who effectively is part of Sabretooth at this point. And in the background, all wearing matching outfits. And damn, son, a lot of good stuff. And stay tuned for what's going to happen next, that's for sure. We get some more battles with August. And you're not going to want to miss it. So, some great stuff. I loved learning about Urza's backstory of her mother and that whole connection there. And, I can't wait to see what happens next. The whole thing with Lucy and Natsu. And can we find that page again Odyssee's like on top of him because, I mean, that's like a dream come true. Let's see, where is it? Here it is. That's like a dream coming true. I mean, come on, that's all we want. That's all I want anyway. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, and stay tuned for more videos coming soon. Have a great day, everybody.